Man, what a weird episode this one. This was, you know?
Yeah, it was different, I guess would be the correct adjective.
Yeah, definitely a lot different.
I tell you this, I think I worked in reverse how I was supposed to. Everyone had problems with Flurry Heart, but then the episode was like, oh, she's so cool. Now I'm like, I used to be like, I don't see what the problem is with Flurry Heart, but now I'm just like, I don't have a problem with Flurry Heart, but it'll be easier to explain as the review goes along because this was a weird episode. I've got some feelings on it.
Yeah. The main thing that I see is that Flurry Heart as a character is weird. Not so much the episode itself.
I mean, people talk about like, Starlight Glimmer being a bit of a spotlight stealing squad because blah 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 whatever. You know what? Flurry Heart's just straight up part of a prophecy, I think. So, hard to say.
Yeah, something like that. So the episode starts off with something's going on at the hospital. Everyone from the schoolhouse on picture day got like feather flu or something like that. They got the pony pox. So they're all like red spots and everything.
Really?
And I don't think I'll ever get used to the picture artwork they do for the show because it still looks really weird. Just saying. I don't know about you.
It did throw me off a bit. Like, wasn't like bad or nothing, but it was just weird.
Yeah. So Twilight and Spike are making this list of things they're going to do to cheer up the school ponies. They're going to go over to the hospital. They're going to read a story, bake a couple of cakes or like treats and stuff like that, and things of that nature. Just a general cheer up thing. So they're about to do that when, lo and behold, Shining Armor and Cadence come around. And they're like, at the last minute, we decided we want to go to one of the total dudes from Shining's platoon and go like to his art exhibit. So can you watch Flurry Heart for us? And it's like, first of all.
Yeah, apparently Shining Armor in between having to protect like the Royal Crystal Empire, whatever the hell. Apparently he also had time to, have hippie artsy friends that have their own crappy art museum. So that's weird. You know what's funny is
at least
that
he gave us a huge Ferris Bueller's Day Off reference.
You know what's hilarious about all that is that I've been in Twilight's position exactly before, where it's just like you had plans and then one of your family just randomly stops by. He's like, "Hey, can you watch our kids for us?" And keep in mind, we're Mexican, so it's kids. So, yeah, that's of course. I mean, none of my nieces or nephews can levitate shit, but yeah, there's. It's funny when a show like this interjects those. I don't want to say realistic because that's stupid, but when a show like this interjects those little nods, to reality like that, because
yeah,
I know this is jumping ahead in the episode, but why did Twilight think it was a good idea to take her niece to the children to the Make-A-Wish Foundation hospital or whatever with all the chicken pox?
Yeah, that's a bit overthinking it on your part, Twilight. You do realize that when a baby is there, they are much more susceptible to disease, like infinitely times more.
Hashtag
in their first year or two of life.
Hashtag Pox Party 2017, making a comeback.
So it's the kind of thing that, like, when you get to be about toddler age, you start building up an immune system. But when you're a little baby that's less than a year old, you're gonna contract something if you're not careful.
Well, she was in her own magic-induced bubble half the time. She'll probably be all right.
She'll just cast a healing spell and she'll be fine.
So
she'll be the medic in Team Fortress 2 if she ever joins that clan.
So it's at this point that I realize that Twilight is basically is basically metaphorical John Cena at this point. She's got a million things to do for her company. They're all for the betterment of own people that she's breaking her back for. And I'm gonna assume she's probably the most requested person at that children's hospital. So on top of all that, she's gotta watch this little kid, and uh and this is another instance of them knowing how to write Spike. Against Spike, this episode was on point. Like
Mm,
episodes with, I don't want to say dumb plots, but episodes with plots like this, that they're made a lot more enjoyable to sit through when you got someone occasionally pointing out how dumb it is.
yeah, something like that. So the whole thing is they start playing, and it's one of those things where Twilight is not like really listening to what's going on, and thankfully it didn't go to a plot point of we forgot this, we forgot that, and blah blah blah. But I think that this scene is super cute because they're playing like bears with these little teddy bears, and it's so adorable with them both flying around and stuff. And Twilight does something that, like, she gets a little too into it, and Flurry gets scared and like hides behind both her wings and a magic bubble. And I'm just like, that's actually the most adorable thing I think I have ever seen come out of this character. I just hope I'm
Yeah,
not.
that's no, it makes sense. It's just like you're talking about all the funny little moments for her, and all I'm thinking of, and all I'm thinking of is just like, man, I know so many kids that if they did half the crap that Flurry Heart did, they would have been smacked in the gob.
Uh-huh. So then they go out to try and do their errands otherwise. And And I like the little conversation that Twilight and Spike have. And Spike's kind of like the goalkeeper of like, okay, we got this done, but we're still about 5 or 6 minutes behind. So we need to hurry it up at this next stop in order to make it work. I kind of like that sort of camaraderie between the two of them. Um, but they get to the store and they're trying to make a game of it. And I love how Spike's just like, that is the fastest I have ever seen you shop in like anywhere, and just going nuts with going down the aisles, getting exactly what they need, and just pushing Flurry hard along, and just her squealing in delight. I just love that.
Yes, because Spike's a champ.
Yeah. So after that, they get to the point where they're at the front counter. Floriard decides to use her magic and push the cart herself, which now we know exactly where that promo from earlier this year came from, or at least that part of the promo. So I don't know if this is a cliche in every show like every animated show that I've seen, but is it weird that even in this show you see a comical part of a scene where someone smashes into like the plushies stand or whatever, you know? But I don't know.
Yeah, it's I don't know either. I know it doesn't sound. I know it sounds like I don't have a lot to contribute to this episode, but like, it's just it's just so weird, especially when you get to the part where, especially when when it gets to the part where it becomes really apparent that Twilight's like super in over her head. When was that? When she not Cheerily, but the part where she gets to Pinkie Pie's bakery, and they got to they gotta get all that crap, and
All the apology cakes.
yeah, the apology cakes, and this is the first time that that those two little kids in in the Cake's household, you know, weren't a couple of complete douches. I don't know why I just thought that was hilarious. They were fighting over the balloon, and Spike's trying to find it, and then Flurry Heart like goes the King Solomon route and like splits it in half, and I'm just
Yeah,
like,
right. I did not even realize it
like,
was a King
okay.
Solomon reference until you mentioned it.
It's not even that. It's
The
not.
show's getting both more metal and biblical at the same time. What is
Well, it's
this
not.
show?
Well, it's not even that hardcore of a reference. It's one of the more famous Solomon stories where like these two women were like, "Hey, this is my kid." The other one's like, "No, this is my kid." So Solomon's like, oh, "Okay, so we'll split the kid in half so you can have so you each can have the kid." And the woman that's not the kid's mom was like, "Okay." And the real mom was like, "No, don't do that. That's my
And that
kid."
was
So,
so the supposed wisest man alive.
well, no, he did that to weed out who was the real mom.
That's genius, but at the same time, it's like if no one came up, would he actually have cut the baby in half?
Hey, man, sometimes bisection is the art of discretion. That's
Oh
that
my
term, right?
God.
No, okay,
Oh my God.
I'm just gonna skip to the part of the episode that really had my that really got me thinking. It's the part at the hospital. So the whole episode's been leading up to it's leading up to Twilight going to the hospital to read for the the sick kids or whatever. And it was a snail, right? Flurry
Yeah,
Heart's toy.
it's I don't know exactly what it is. Every kid has like, or at least every parent has a name for their kid's toy. My Leica sister, I think her her kid's blanket, they call it like a binky or something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Or no, your bee or whatever. But anyway, it's that sort of toy. It's basically this will calm her down no matter what.
It's a security blanket or whatever. So so she loses the thing, and then she proceeds to literally flip the room with her telekinesis, and you know, and I'm sorry, but it was at this point that I kind of stopped. I think we're supposed to feel bad for the kid, but it's at this point that I stopped because I don't know. Hold on a second.
Yes, we're dealing with the
Okay,
technical
sorry.
difficulties behind us.
Okay, so sorry about that. You know, there's one of my favorite things to see in media, specifically television and stuff, and that's when spoiled brat characters get put in their place. You know, like like Princess Bucks or whatever from Powerpuff Girls, for instance. Characters like that getting to just dudes, I love that shit. It makes a whole episode of their BS worth it, and
Kind of like the end of Family Appreciation Day when Diamond Tiara has to dress up as the bunny and hop over the cans.
oh, dude, I love that shit.
It's
So
awesome.
so Twilight at this point is like, you know, enough of it. So she yells at Flurry Heart to get her to stop. And in the episode, I thought the moral of the episode was gonna be, you know, it's not, you know, people don't like doing it, but sometimes you got to be forceful with kids to get them to listen to you, because that's just a part of being an adult figure or whatever.
I know we are not
No.
going on the subject of spanking. No, that is not the status show.
And no, the episode is like, oh no, you're not supposed to ever, you know, you're never supposed to raise your voice at the kids. You're just supposed to politely, I don't know, baby them or something. And yeah, it and I don't know, that really bugged me. I mean, I personally wasn't raised with, like, you know, the wooden spoon or nothing, but I just thought that was bullshit. I think they were trying to present the idea that even though it's hard to balance that, they were trying to be like, know when to do it, when not. But they didn't do that. They were just like, oh, let's make Twilight the bad guy because she yelled at the kid. And I thought, that's kind of force-handed, I think.
In all honesty, though, it's not even the fact of it's a weird moral. It's the fact that what is Flurry Heart's age right now? If we're supposed to think that she's, a baby, how does she have this level of like intelligence to be able to literally be able, is she 2 or something like this at this point? Because that's the only way I can see her being able to know to point to something or be able to use motions instead of just crying,
Hey. Yeah, I get it. It's just, I don't know, and I don't think, because I've seen everyone have their own opinion on it and whatever, and I don't think people are talking enough about how kind of shitty it is of Shining Armor and Cadence that they just literally showed up at the last minute and just dumped this kid on them, like that's kind of shitty. But I don't know. I guess they need to make Shining Armor and Cadence see like good people, so they protected them, but they buried Twilight. I don't know. It's weird.
What I find funny though is going to where you see Shining Armor and Cadence, the fact that they're just looking at this artwork. And I love at one point Shining Armor is like, that's an exquisite piece of art, and the guy's like, that's a trash can. But
no different than the rest of the art.
I know, right? But it's the sort of thing where I love how everything that they're seeing at the art show is reminding them of their kid, because that subtly shows how much the kid is a part of their lives. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like I get it. Like I do get it. I just don't really. I get it, but I don't agree with it. That doesn't make sense. I don't know. I just feel like it could have been presented. I just feel like it could have been presented better. But at the end of the day, it's it's a half-hour show, so
yeah, something like that.
Kind of a weird subject, especially for a show like this that typically tends to go the middle road on a lot of things like this. But
yeah, but yeah, that's a flurry of emotion. I honestly don't know how to feel about this episode.
Yeah, I mean, it's like somewhere in between us. It's like somewhere, but it's not a 5, but it's somewhere between like a 6 and a 7. I guess I'll just go 6.5. But I didn't really.
Yeah.
And I think it was season 5 or 6 that had this problem too for the first half. I was fine until the moral.
Mm-hmm. Something like that. Or like with season 5, it was not a great episode, and then the moral made everything worth it.
Yeah, that's right. It was in season 6 had that issue where it's like, I mean, it's like, because like the buildup was to a moral that I thought they were gonna do, but they didn't. They swerved me, but it just I didn't not like it. I guess it's just an episode that was there.
Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna give it a 6.5 as well. Why did you not do the drum roll, or is that no longer available?
Oh, because oh wait, is it still here? Let me see.
Let's see. Yay!
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah, so 6.5 from both of us. Again, wasn't a bad episode, but it was definitely in the weirder territory. That kind of like makes everything a little bit worse, if that makes any sense.
No, I get it. It's not bad. It's just there.
Yeah. So yeah, next week I think that's the mod one, where she's coming to Ponyville.
Yeah, her and Rarity bond over mining or something, I guess.
That'd be really awesome, because it goes back to what Rarity's special talent is in finding gems. That'd be really cool for them to collaborate on that. So, but yeah, that's it from me, John.
And me, Snakeskin.
And we'll talk to you guys later. Peace out, Dragon.
Later.